So maybe you're shopping for a video doorbell. You check out Ring video doorbells because you hear that they're so popular. You see them in your neighborhood, you see the commercials on TV, and then you check out their website and you see that there are 7 different types of Ring video doorbells. There are 3 different types of battery powered doorbells. There are 2 wired doorbells, and then there are these 2 weird specialty doorbell options that they have as well. Some of them are old, some of them are fairly new. It's just hard to understand the differences between them and which one is the right one for you. The goal of this video is to help you differentiate between all of these doorbells and decide which one is going to be the best one for you. So the order that we'll take on this is first battery doorbells, second wired doorbells, and then third we'll finish off with Ring's sort of specialty apartment doorbell. We've tested out the majority of these Ring doorbells, and almost every Ring doorbell that's been released over the years. You'll see a bunch of our archived footage from our reviews in this video, and we'll also touch on the general evolution of Ring doorbells, as well as pros and cons. By the way, if you want to skip around to the device that you're looking for specifically, just check out the timestamps here below. You'll be able to find it. I'm Corey from Security.org. Let's get into it. So beginning with Ring's battery-powered doorbell options, you get the 3 different kinds. You have the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus right here. You got the Ring Battery Doorbell, and then you have the Ring Battery Doorbell Pro. Let's start off with the Plus. This was the first battery doorbell from Ring that offered a 1:1 aspect ratio, so that square image, versus the traditional 16:9 look that you see with most home security cameras. That's what all previous generations of the Ring battery doorbells had. And the issue there is that you couldn't see the whole person. So somebody's at your door, maybe you see their face, but you're not able to see like their lower body or, more importantly, packages. All of the previous generations of the Ring battery doorbells, the original, the 2, the 3, the 4 even, they all suffered from this limitation. So it was great to finally see when the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus comes along that you get that head-to-toe look, the 1:1 aspect ratio, and even more resolution now with 1536p. Resolution had been a major critique of Ring from users over the years. They were sort of stuck in this 1080p world, and it was really hard to justify, especially as you saw competitors like Arlo or Eufy or Lorex, for example, releasing these 2K video doorbells with head-to-toe look. So it was great to see a jump in resolution and aspect ratio from Ring. And I'd say that this is the first battery doorbell from Ring to really take advantage of the package alerts. So it will let you know whenever a package is seen, when the package is no longer seen. And those are like game-changing notifications in terms of the day-to-day functionality of a doorbell. When it comes to video quality on the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus, I think that it's looking good. The daytime vision looks solid. The night vision is also nice. And this doorbell is even capable of color night vision. The battery on this doorbell is removable, which is super convenient for easy charging. You could even buy extra Ring batteries and swap them out as needed. But I love that you don't need to remove the doorbell physically in order to do a recharge. The only thing that I sort of miss with the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus is the dual band Wi-Fi connection. So this one only supports 2.4 gigahertz. So I'd say just make sure before you buy the device that it's going to be compatible with your Wi-Fi. The Battery Doorbell Plus was released in March of 2023. It retails at $150, and I think that even today, it's still well worth the price. It's still a really good doorbell, and even better if you can get a deal on it. Now, speaking generally about Ring doorbells for a moment, the Ring app is really what's bringing a lot of power to these devices. It's constantly updating, and Ring frequently rolls out new functionality within the app, new features, and oftentimes they extend it to even older doorbell models, which you love to see that just because your device is a year or two old, it's not going to be totally obsolete. The catch is that you more or less have to subscribe to Ring Home, which is Ring's subscription service, in order to get the majority of the features and functionality of the Ring doorbells beyond like a live stream, for example. Things like 180 days of video history, person and package detection, things like that. This applies across the board for Ring devices, not just their video doorbells. So their security cameras, their home security systems. In order to use them practically day to day, you're going to have to get that subscription. And currently, it costs between $5 and $20 a month for a Ring home subscription, depending on the plan that you choose. The cheapest option being that $5 a month option would just be for somebody who has a single camera, which is a pretty good deal when you think about it. You're getting quite a bit of value for $5 a month, but it's important to know on the front end that you're going to have to pay that fee. Moving on to the next doorbell in our lineup, we have the Ring Battery Doorbell. This is Ring's entry-level doorbell. They keep the same name with every version, but basically every couple years, they'll do a refresh. This is the 2024 version. The major upgrade with this 2024 version is the video quality. The previous version of the battery doorbell from 2020, that still had 16:9 aspect ratio and 1080p video quality. The 2024 version upgraded to the 1:1 aspect ratio and 1440p resolution. Now, that's not quite as much resolution as the 1536p that you're getting from the Battery Doorbell Plus, but consider the price. This doorbell retails at $100. So at that price, you're getting just a ton of value. It's one of the best values out there, honestly. The only limitations that I see are once again that single band Wi-Fi connection, the 2.4 gigahertz, just like with the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus, and the fact that the battery is built in, it's not removable. So whenever you need to recharge this device, you're gonna have to remove it from the mount and plug it in. Now, the trade-off there is that this device is actually slimmer than the Battery Doorbell Plus. So in that sense, the built-in battery could actually be a real benefit for somebody who's looking for a slimmer video doorbell. Now, wrapping it up with the battery doorbells, we have the Ring Battery Doorbell Pro. And this February 2024 release is more or less bringing all the features of the 2021 wired Doorbell Pro to a battery doorbell. The Battery Doorbell Pro is very similar to the Battery Doorbell Plus, but with the addition of the bird's eye view, bird's eye zones, and 3D motion detection features. You can see what those features look like right here from when they debuted on the wired Doorbell Pro, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. But essentially, it allows you to make these top-down motion zones and map visually where the person was walking from an aerial view. It's cool, but personally, I didn't find it to be all that useful, back in 2021 when it came out originally on the Ring Wired Doorbell Pro. Personally, it just came off as kind of gimmicky. Now, the Battery Doorbell Pro does have a few other high-end exclusive features that we could talk about, like pre-roll, for example. That gives you like a short, low-res recording of what happened in front of your doorbell a few moments before the recording was actually even triggered. And this is a feature that we've seen on previous high-end Ring video doorbells, like the Ring Video Doorbell 4, for example. But I'm not sure that these couple features really justify the price of this doorbell. The Battery Doorbell Pro is $230 retail. That's $80 more than the Battery Doorbell Plus. That's giving you basically all the features that this one has. They both have the 1536p and so many of the features. It's just the difference of the bird's eye view, the 3D motion detection, and the pre-roll. This definitely comes down to personal preference. If those features sound really cool to you, spend the extra money and get the Pro. If you don't need those features, save some money, get the Plus. In any case, speaking broadly about Ring battery doorbells, I think whichever one that you choose, you're not going to be disappointed. They're all nice devices, especially since they all now have that modern 1:1 aspect ratio. I'd say the most value is probably coming from the entry-level 2024 battery doorbell release. It's only $100, great value. If you want to step up $50 more, you can get the Battery Doorbell Plus, which has that removable battery, and it's also bringing a little bit better video quality with the 1536p. And finally, the Ring Battery Doorbell Pro, that adds the 3D motion detection. It's $230, so I think that that's more for a select group of buyers. The features, they're cool, but I think most users really aren't going to miss them. Now let's shift to the wired doorbells from Ring. the ones that'll work with your existing doorbell infrastructure. And they are the Video Doorbell Wired and the Wired Doorbell Pro. Now, technically, there is one more wired option from Ring. It's called the Video Doorbell Elite, but I sort of categorize that as more of a specialty doorbell, and I'm not really going to touch on it today for a number of reasons. One being that it is a power over Ethernet video doorbell, which most folks are not using. Another reason is that it was released all the way back in 2018. It's a pretty old device. And then there's the price. It's $350, very expensive. So let's move on to the next device. First, we have the Ring Video Doorbell Wired, which is Ring's entry-level wired video doorbell that they released back in 2021. If you're looking for a reliable wired video doorbell that has all the features of the Ring app and you don't want to spend a lot of money, well, this one might be the one for you because it's only 50 bucks. There are a few trade-offs though, as you'd expect, and the biggest one is probably that it has that 16:9 aspect ratio, right? So you're not going to be getting the full head-to-toe look, and that's going to be particularly bothersome if you want to make sure that you're seeing packages. Another limitation of this doorbell is the connectivity. You're only getting the 2.4 gigahertz connection, so just make sure that that's going to work with your Wi-Fi. And then know that this wired doorbell actually does not work with your existing Chime infrastructure. Now, because of that, you might want to consider getting one of Ring's digital chimes, like the Chime Pro, for example, which is actually a really great accessory. It supports your entire Ring ecosystem, not just the doorbells. It works as a chime, of course, so when somebody goes and presses your doorbell, not only are you going to get the notification on your phone, but the Chime Pro is going to play a notification in your space. The Chime Pro also functions as a Wi-Fi extender, which has definitely come in handy for me over the years, making sure that I can keep a strong connection to my Ring doorbells and my Ring cameras. Anyway, if you need a decent wired video doorbell for the least amount of money, the Ring Video Doorbell Wired definitely can do that for you. But otherwise, you might want to look at upgrading to something a little bit better. And let's check out now what I think is probably the best option currently from Ring. And that is the Wired Doorbell Pro. Now, this is a bit confusing because back when this was released in 2021, it was called the Doorbell Pro 2. They have since changed the name to Wired Doorbell Pro. Now, on paper, this device is fairly similar to the Battery Doorbell Pro, but I'm assuming since the Battery Doorbell Pro came out in 2024, this came out in 2021, the Battery Doorbell Pro probably has the edge on features and such due to the hardware. With the Wired Doorbell Pro, you're getting all the premium features, including 1536p video, the head-to-toe aspect ratio, pre-roll videos, 3D motion detection, all of it. And compared to the battery doorbells from Ring, the Wired Doorbell Pro is going to be a lot smaller and generally just a different design. So that might be one reason why you prefer the wired version versus the battery version. I'd say the real sticking point with the Wired Doorbell Pro is going to be the price. It retails at $230. That's the same price as the Battery Pro. But it's the only wired Ring doorbell that offers that 1:1 aspect ratio. The only wired doorbell from Ring that gives you the head-to-toe look, the ability to see the packages on the ground. Overall, I think that this is a really solid doorbell. You're basically getting the very best that Ring has to offer in terms of features and performance, all in a compact form factor with that wired design. The one thing that I could see rubbing people the wrong way is the fact that it's still $230 for a device that came out in 2021. Here are a few final thoughts that I have on the wired doorbell options from Ring. Honestly, I think size is probably the biggest selling point for a wired Ring doorbell, since they're just so much smaller, have a different design than the battery versions. Now, another important thing to know is that all the Ring battery doorbells actually support hard wiring. It doesn't replace the batteries, but instead it trickle charges them. So in a sense, even the Ring battery doorbells are wired doorbells. Now let's shift to the final Ring doorbell. It's a sort of specialty device. It's for folks living in apartments. It's called the Ring Peephole Cam. Fun fact, this device actually came out in 2019, which is when we reviewed it, and then they discontinued it and relaunched it in 2023. The device is exactly what it sounds like. It replaces your existing peephole on your apartment door, but it also has its own built-in peephole so that you can still use the peephole manually, if that makes sense. It has this cool feature called knock detection. So if somebody goes up to your door and knocks on it, instead of pressing the doorbell, it will send you a notification still, which is really cool. The one bummer about this device is that it has that sort of legacy 16:9 aspect ratio. So depending on the height of your door, your peephole, you might not be able to see the packages that are placed in front of it. The field of view is 155 degrees horizontal, 90 degrees vertical, so not too bad, but still it's that pre-head to toe vision from Ring. So not much more to say about that. If you live in an apartment, this might be the perfect choice for you. That wraps it up for our complete Ring video doorbell guide. I hope that it helped you decide which is the right one for your home and tell what the differences are between all of these Ring video doorbells. If you want to learn more about Ring doorbells, be sure to check out our page over on Security.org, which I'll link in the description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.